Now, legends, welcome to very first episode off the back fence with one of my best virtual mates since we've never met in real life, the Don. I feel like a bit of a mafia movie calling you the Don, but mate, welcome to the stream. How are you? Legends.
No, I'm good, man. I'm good.
To
Whole weekend of footy under the belt.
Off the
I
back
bet
fence
you would have been
with
frothing all weekend.
one of my best virtual mates since we've never met in real
Got a bit of
life.
feedback. I've got to fix that.
The
Hold
Don.
on.
I feel like a bit of a mafia movie
I love
calling
the
you the
technical
Don,
difficulties
but
first time off the
mate,
gate.
always
Welcome
good
to
to
the stream.
good
How
to
are
start
you?
with
Legends.
some,
No, I'm good, man. I'm
welcome
good.
to
Whole
the
weekend of
first
footy under the
episode.
belt.
Okay, I think we're sweet now. That was just like echoey. It was just going on
Yeah,
and
yeah,
on.
yeah.
But,
Nothing worse.
mate, great start to the first live stream, but
A sign of things to come, I bet.
I'm sure we're going to have a lot of repeat viewers over the next... this could be the first and
Okay,
last
I think we're
episode.
sweet
Who
now.
knows? Oh, that was just like
We're
echoey.
not.
It was just
I'm
going
just
on
getting-
and
Yeah,
on.
yeah, yeah.
But, okay, so let me start again. I had two windows open with both with YouTube. So I think we're sweet now. But,
I love it.
I closed the first one and I was like, where the fuck is this echo coming from again? But all good, all good. Donnie. Okay, so let me
Fuck
start
me
again. I
dead.
had two windows open. We're right. We're good. I think we're good.
We're good. We're better than good because we're sitting here talking footy.
We are. Mate, how are you? Listen,
I'm good.
apologies to everyone for what you've just listened to and what you've just seen. Technically,
The content kings.
working at YouTube. Give me Instagram, give me Twitter, give me Facebook. I'll own it, I think. But
Yep.
YouTube, I am a blubbering mess. But we are going live. We are here, mate. We're talking footy. Footy is back.
Yep.
How good is it?
Amazing. I mean, I had one of the boys over yesterday and we're just sitting there watching what felt like a big W version of Super Saturday because it wasn't too super, but the footy was back and it was super to us. I had a blast. Just getting back around the boys, watching some footy, drinking some beer. And the whole weekend just feels like we're almost back to normal. The missus loves it too. I swear.
Even though there's like not many superstars, there wasn't that many big names, all these young ones coming through, it still felt like the first round of football. Still felt
Oh man.
like, we had 2 games on Friday, 3 games on Saturday, 2 games, there's a game going on now, we're at half time.
Yeah.
And we've still got another Monday night game. So
Yep.
It's
And
just-
next Saturday it's the four games, and there's a few derbies in there too.
I
So
know.
next Saturday is going to be even bigger again.
it's just amazing to have back and just good to see trial footy on the TV. We haven't
Yep.
had it in a few years, which is good. But mate, for anyone that doesn't know, like, let us know, who you are, what you've been doing.
Yeah.
Your,
So,
your Instagram
NRL
handles
Don.
and all that sort of stuff.
So NRL_Don on Instagram. Come give us a follow. Have a look at what I do. Do a lot of reels and stuff like that, kind of news of the week gear. So what I do is I pretty much look at what Roasty does and then condense that into a video for everyone. So I just rip him off completely. But no, just kind of keep you guys up to date with like news, reels on TikTok, that kind of vibe. And then a few
what you've
memes
been
and
doing.
Supercoach stuff as well, all on Instagram. So popped up over the last couple of months and been giving it a go. Got a bit of love so far. So hopefully it starts to continue.
Mate, you popped up like almost instantly when you started posting. I saw the content. I was like, man, I love this sort of content. Short little like real stuff, pop culture references, all that sort of thing. It felt like you and I were sort of destined to sort of bump into each other. And then I jumped on your podcast during the week, had a great chat, had a few a lukewarm take, a medium take, and a bit of a hot take. But it was good to chat with you, and I knew straight away. I was like, I want to get this guy and have a chat. I'm not the greatest person to chat footy, but I understand and I see, you doing some great things. I wanted to get you on and talk about some footy stuff. So this is just our trial, the trial for the trials.
Absolutely.
And try and get some fan feedback and try and get the fans involved as well. So we're just we're not the best analysts. I'm not going to say that, but I think we have an eye for some of the
we're pretty up there.
stuff.
It's pretty much Vossi than us, I'd think.
Close. We're a very close second. But no, I think we just have an eye for some of the funnier stuff as well. So
yeah, exactly.
Very similar things. So I'm like, you know what? Let's try it out and see how it goes. But I've got a few guys in the chat. We'll mention them. CJ Moxley, the NRL memes is there.
Mox the Fox. How you doing, brother?
Yeah, he's mentioned the NRL Bloomers. What's the NRL Bloomers? Is that like just your group, is it? Or
yeah, so when we first came, it used to be a we thing. When I first came onto Instagram last year, before I started doing the Don stuff, it was just really to give my draft mates a bit of an idea of what the bloody hell to do when it comes to draft, because the competition was a little bit dry the first couple of years. So I got on.
We've lost the Don. Even more technical difficulties here today. Hopefully Don comes back here in a second, but he's back. He's back.
Did I go?
You just dropped out, mate, but you're back again. It's all good. Let's continue on.
Yep.
Absolutely fabulous start here, but this is fan TV. This is fans running it. This is what it's all about. We're not professionals at all, but this is the beauty of it. Mate, we've had 6 games so far. We're currently in our 7th game. I want to talk. What are some of the best things you've seen over these trial games? What are some of the highlights for you over these first few games?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like it's pretty. Like you were saying before we got on, just like all these blokes that are and all the people that are coming out to see the trial games, even though they might not be superstars and stuff like that in these games, just the sheer amount of people that are coming out and watching the trials. I think everyone's very hungry for footy. Obviously, there's like a few funny things that we saw over the weekend. Obviously, Vega made a bit of a name for himself, the full moon up in Cairns last night. But just like generally, like we were talking about before we got on here, just how good it is to see just people back in grounds after like so long. You guys down in New South Wales have gone so long without being able to just confidently go to a game of footy. I think it's good to get everybody down there, and you can see the appetite for it for sure.
That was one of my highlights was, all these fans getting out. So, like, I think one of the games was, like, down in Casey Fields, down in Melbourne, which is not, a huge rugby league community. It was like 7,000 people there.
Ridiculous.
So that's just fabulous for, a Storm team versus, the Warriors team. Not too many big names in that squad, but yet they could get 7,000 people there. So it shows the appetite there. People saying like the KO viewers Foxtel viewers were massive, and it didn't even include the KO viewers yet. So there's so much to take in. There's obviously that appetite there. For me, like one of the big highlights was all these great names from the past that we're seeing again now. So today, like Maverick Guy, which I've been accused of.
Didn't he have a day? Crawling
up his ass already, which is amazing. But, he's not even played in the NRL. But, Maverick Guy, Tyron Wishart, Cade Dykes, Iro. There was a KL Iro, which is Kevin's son, Zach Wolford, Riley Price, Steve Price, young fella, Ross Bella, Marty Bella's one, and Cole Guy, Zach Fulton. All these old names that have just popped back up, and it's great to see all these young guys coming in, which we're going to see over the next, 10, 20 years. It's just, a bit of nostalgia.
It's one of those things, right? Like, it just runs in the family for some people, and for blokes like us, nobody runs in the family.
Can I just have a little bit of talent, please? Just something. But, mate, we're going to go over some of the games. We're not going to go into it too much. We're just going to touch on some of the big moments of each game.
Yeah, obvious.
And have a look at what happened. So, mate, Friday night kicked off, 6 o'clock, Raiders Roosters. Straight away there was already an issue. There was some COVID issues before the game.
Yep.
Williams failed a test, so he was ruled out. His teammate Frawley, who's considered a close contact. It'd be interesting to see how this gets handled during the year. I know Ricky come out and said the players are going to be happy as they'll get single rooms from now on to avoid
everyone's
And
Everyone's upgraded to a suite for the rest of the season. That's not a bad. I mean, I reckon there's a few pats on backs going around, to be honest. Old mate got 80 minutes of rest and everyone gets a single bed for the rest of the season. That's not too bad.
It's a win-win for everyone. I'll tell you there's one person that'll be even like so happy that this has happened, and that would be Elliot Whitehead's roommate. I mean, who wants to bunk down with a pom every away game anyway? So, yeah, there's been some great outcomes from this, but it will be interesting to see how this, affects games going forward. Like,
it's definitely going to affect it.
Yeah.
It's definitely this season, like, strap in, especially if you're one of those blokes that play Supercoach or fantasy, do not get attached to anything and keep your eyes on the late mail, because this is going to be all season long. Even if you're having a punt, do not put those multis on until the kickoff's about to happen, because
there's going to be
you're going to have some anytime try scorers.
There's going to be so many game time decisions in there. Like, it's just going to be just wait, because this was, I know the coverage only started half an hour before, but it was like 20 minutes before the kickoff and we found out about it. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Great to see Wes Nguama back for the Roosters. Adam Elliott, his first appearance in the lime green for the Raiders. And after the game, it was great to see he was giving away his boots. He signed them, gave away to a fan.
Oh, I like that.
Always love to see that. This Roosters side was pretty much the North Sydney side for the Roosters. There was not many, not big
much
names
going
there.
on.
But you still have to credit these young Raiders guys stepping up. Guys like Xavier Savage, he had a brilliant game. Schneider, Schiller, Trevelyan. They're all going to be pushing for spots in 2022. Exciting future for all of them.
Yep. Yeah, and don't forget Big Red as well, flying the flag for Gingers now that he's back.
Yeah, great to see him back in the line, bro. Do you know, I saw a photo during the week, actually, and it was someone said, I can't wait to see him back, and he was there in Bulldogs gear. And I was like,
yeah, wow.
What did he start with them? And I'm like, I forgot that he, did a swap during the year and played a few games for the Bulldogs. But
Yep.
it was crazy just to see him in that Bulldogs gear. I was like, what's going on?
Some of those jersey swaps, like sometimes I see it on Instagram. I don't know if it's some of these graphic designers or it's my memory playing tricks on me. But I just do not remember some of these blokes in some of these jerseys.
No, I had to do a double take. I was like, when did he play for the Bulldogs? But guys for the Roosters as well, like Daniel Saluka Fafita, he was very strong. Hopefully,
how many Fafitas are we at now,
mate? Jojo, he's playing. There's plenty. I reckon you could dead set make a team. Someone's out there listening to this and they want me to post something on the page. If you can make a full side of Fafitas, go for it.
Yeah, I like that.
Rick has come out. He said Jamal and Jack are going to be starting in the halves next week, so we'll probably get a first look at how that combination is going to work in round one. So that'll be good to see. Mm-hmm. Raiders, Manly next week. Roosters versus the Tigers as well. So a couple exciting games. Anything else from this one, mate? Or
no, I mean, Savage obviously excited me. I think it's interesting. People are saying that he might be taking CNK's jersey. I just feel like he's earned that, though. He's earned the right to defend it. And I was looking at the game and I was like, yes, Savage had an okay game, but you're looking at like CNK, probably his biggest moment of the game. He broke the line and set up a try. And Xavier, as much as I love him, his main contribution to the game was a bit of a blunder kick that came out all right. So I just think some of the chat with Xavier and CNK, maybe it's just me thinking, I'll give a bit of respect to the older fella in the situation, but maybe you got to shift Savage to the wing. And especially with Rapana out for 2 weeks now anyway, gives Ricky a bit more time to think about it anyway.
I'd say you're probably right. You're probably going to get CNK at the back and Savage on the wing for the first couple of weeks, and at least we're going to get to see him on the field and see what he can do.
Yeah, exactly.
Mate, next up was Manly Tigers. Rain started pelting down. And unfortunately for the Tigers, this didn't end the way for them.
No standing O's. No standing O's this week.
Unfortunately, had to sit down for this one. I was surprised Turbo got a run in this game. He got I think he got the full first half.
Don't you reckon that there would have been a lot of Manly fans watching there being like, I'm really grateful that you're here, Tom, but if you do want to sit down, that's fine too. Like if you don't want to run here at 100%, that's absolutely okay, buddy. If you just want a seat, that's fine. Both your brothers are here. We'll be okay.
Do you know, it was to the day that he raced Harry on the Corso.
Jeez.
You know, if you believe what he said, like that wasn't the reason for his hamstring injury. But But, mate, we got another great little performer out of that game, one of the youngsters, Ray. I called him Vinny Vega from Vincent Vega from Pulp Fiction, but I was dirty on myself when someone on Twitter said, how about Savio Vega from the late 90s wrestler? I was very disappointed in that. But, he stood up 3 tries in the last 25 minutes. Real solid fella as well.
He's built, bro.
Yeah, like very solid. He's going to be tough to break into that squad with Saab and Garrick on the wings there, but he does have a great personality. And what did he say? He's going to throw in some dance moves and chuck in some flips.
I was saying to you before, like Turbo's cool and Garrick's cool, but their flips and dat meter is way out of whack when you're comparing it to Vega. Like he got 3 flips and dat in one game, and I'm yet to see Turbo even attempt a flip or dat. So I don't understand what all the hype is about. You know,
it was the end dat at the end, which really, it did it for me. I thought it was fabulous. But one of the other funnier moments from, and I'll bring it up, was I don't know who the player is. I'm sure we could do some research and find it. But this player with a chair on his head protecting himself from the rain.
Yep.
It's actually funny because the funny thing about that chair, it was actually left by Trent Barrett back in a couple of years ago when he had to bring his own furniture. So it's amazing that they took it to the game with it. But mate, it was a great game. Interesting after when they were talking to James Tamu, he stated he wasn't sure they were going to be captain. I was like, surely by now you know who their captain's going to be. Like you 3 weeks out from the season.
There's not a single sure thing in Tiger Town. It's
it's like, mate, just set up the cameras, give us Tiger Town 2, please, because it's going to be a wild ride. Bloody Brilliant Beers. Hey, great Facebook page, Instagram page if you want to go follow these guys. They're in the chat.
These boys.
You'd probably know them from the Caxton, would you?
Oh my goodness. Residents at the CAC, absolute legends. Love you, boys.
There are boys. Who wins the comp and why is it Brisbane? I'll tell you what. If you do want to back Brisbane for the comp, I will take your money right here and now. Send it over.
Roast bet.
The NRL memes just checked only 4 for feeders.
Wow, that's hard to believe.
I'm sure if you ask ask around, we'd probably find a few more. But, I understand there's probably only 4 playing in the NRL. But
I'll legally change my last name if it gives me a run. If we're putting in another expansion team, I'll go in.
Donny Fafita and Roasty Fafita coming in the NRL in 2022. Dewey is captain. Yeah, he will be, but he's out until the start or the middle of the year. So, we're going to obviously have a captain before then. So it'll be interesting to see if James Tamu doesn't retain it, who's going to be captain until then. But
that's crazy.
Moving on, Storm Warriors. This was one of the first. It was the first of the Saturday games. A win for the Warriors. Had the fans up and about. This is our year, is what the screams which they always come out with. But what were your takes on this one, mate? Anything special out of this one?
Listen, you can talk about Coates. He looked good. He came out. He played good. Munster looked like the 5th Beatle for a bit there. That hair looked uncomfortable. He must have washed it the night before. It looked like it was sticking to his face. But I think the big takeaway for me was, I might not be pronouncing this right, but Junior Ratuva. Jesus, standing at about 2 meters tall. I went and looked him up. I was actually doing a slow dynasty draft at the time, and my pick was up. And I watched this bloke, and I looked at his thighs, and I'm like, nah, he's in. And I picked him up on Supercoach. I don't know nothing about him, so I looked him up. Got 95 meters last night, bagged himself a try. He stands about 196 centimeters, 110 kilos. His whole career, he's played 9 games at Q Cup, spread across 2 clubs, but he still bagged himself 7 tries. I mean, Montoya looked the goods, but when Retuva came on, did you see him? He was just looked like a skyscraper. He was moving like a bird. I could not believe I'd never seen anything like this. And I think I saw
Retuva. What was his last name?
No, Junior
Retuva. Yep.
Yeah. And that's just fun to say. It's like Manu Vatavai, you know? Sammy Radradra. Like, it's just fun to say Junior Ratuva. And he's just, like, I can hear Vossi calling it now. Junior Ratuva. Like, it's just so fun to say. But he's so tall, so quick, so big. That was my big takeaway. Probably doesn't make a lot of sense to a lot of people. But sometimes you just see a player, it catches your eye, and you go, hold on. Where have you been, mate? Because you look the goods.
And he'd have to be up there with one of the tallest players in the NRL at the moment, too. So
he could go play NBA. Like, that's ridiculous height.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're right with Coates as well. Like, mate. First touch scores a try. If he's not a lock for leading try scorer at the end of the year,
That's tasty.
I would take it every day of the week. Someone actually said take him and Nick Meaney as the other one, and I'm like, he probably won't even he'd be coming off the bench playing 14. You don't know whether he's going to bag that other wing spot or Jennings is going to get it, but those two guys are probably going to bag a lot of tries, and for me it's Coates. He's probably going to take that leading try scorer out of the whole NRL. But I'll tell you another try scorer who's pissing a lot of the front row union off, and that's Brendan Smith. He bagged another one on the weekend. Now splitting.
What do we reckon about the haircut?
Short, real short. Like he had that mullet. He had something going on at the back there.
I don't know what's going on with that. Brandon's a pretty boy when he wants to be, but that did not do it for me yesterday. No. Where did he come in the roasted? Because I reckon he knocked himself back a few spots last night because it didn't make sense to me what was going on. Because Money's come out with a massive head of hair, and then you got Cheese who shaved it all off.
Munster, great mustache though.
Oi, it was on display.
It was.
People were texting me, they're like, I can't see his mustache. Look closer. Because it's there. It might not be fully bushy.
No,
but
it's just building up. It's a pre-season stash.
A pre-stash.
But I'll throw this at you. So last year, Brendan Smith splitting his time between 9, 13 off the bench, all that. He scored 11 tries. How many, if I set the over and under at 8 tries for him this year, because he'll probably get that lock spot, you taking the overs or the unders here?
I got to take the overs just because with Brandon Smith, is there another player? Maybe Latrell Mitchell. I've had this conversation before with the boys. Maybe Latrell, but 15 to 10 meters out, you put a ball in someone's hands. Other than Brandon Smith, who you giving it to be unstoppable from that distance? Just cannonball at the line. I don't know who else I give the ball to in that situation. And if he's playing lock, running.
That description where you say, give it to someone 5 minutes out, the only person I can think of is Brendan Smith. Because you just see it over and over.
Harry takes a step out, as good as he is, gives it to Brandon. That's a try every day. Because you got to look at Harry when he takes a step out. Defenders have got to look at him. Just give it to Brandon, and then he just cannonballs at their legs. You're not going to be able to stop him.
Yeah.
But now with the shaved head, he's a bit more aerodynamic too, I guess.
Correct, yeah. Let's just touch on Supercoach. So Bellamy said that Pappenhausen won't be ready for round 1. Meaney will probably get that. I know Munster spent some time in that one just in a trial game, but Meaney will probably get that number 1 spot for round 1. But what does that mean for Supercoach if he's not ready? Is he up there as a pick or an option for number 1?
In draft, I still take him in draft. In Classic, it's definitely got to start asking yourself some questions because I don't know Melbourne's draw off the top of my head, but I know they got Souths in there somewhere, and I'm pretty sure they might have the Roosters in there somewhere too in those first 5 rounds. And obviously in Classic, you go off that 3-round average. So maybe starting with Pappy. I actually didn't know that. Thank you, Roasty, because I didn't know. I got to look at my Classic team because I'm shocked with the Classic sometimes. But in draft, I'm still taking him 4th overall. I don't care about 1 week.
You don't know fully. He could be named number 1 and come out, but Bellamy said that he might not be ready for round 1.
I think with the goal kicking too, Melbourne are going to score tries. They just are. So with the goal kicking too, it just adds so much to his game.
Mate, so
if he can kick him,
if he can kick him, that's right. Next week the Warriors take on the Titans and Storm up against the Knights. So another couple of really good games there. Rabbits versus the Cowboys was the next one up. It was a full moon. In as we can see right here from I forget the guy's name. What was his name? Nico? Was it?
Is Andre something?
Andre Nico.
Believe.
Andre Nico.
Yeah.
Poor fella, but hey, bad to try. Once he put it down, even though he knew his pants were around his ankles, he turned to the camera and gave her a big smile. He knew that it was a meme-worthy moment.
How good was the fullback the seconds before that play? Because I've obviously seen the full moon a few times now. He beat about 4 Souths players before laying off the ball to the pantsless wonder.
The pantsless wonder.
Before, what I said to you before is the Rugby League Universe did the first ever group colonoscopy.
Yeah. It was dead set, that camera. I don't think it could have zoomed any further up there, but poor fella. But like you said, colonoscopy, he's all clear. He's ready to go during the year if needed. A couple of old greats in this one as well. Great names. Steve Price's son, Riley, former Cowboy Marty Bella's son Ross in this game. They lined up for the Cowboys, which was great to see. Did you see Jai Arrow and Latrell Mitchell?
Yes,
in the
yes. I love that. I love
asses, saying,
because the first time I saw it, you posted it, and I just saw it on mute at first because I was still watching the game. And I thought the post was about Latrell just absolutely giving it to the boys on the backside. And then I watched it again with the sound, and Jai Arrow's just absolutely giving it heaps. It was just top tier preseason video. That
it was like he was just firing up for kick-ons on Sunday. It was good to see. And that's what we need right now. We need more hype men in the game.
Yeah.
But, mate, next week we've got Rabbitohs Dragons in the Charity Shield and Cowboys versus Broncos. And
Latrell should be back for that, correct?
They will be, yeah. Do you see any young guns out of this one that sort of caught your eye, or any sort of big things out of this? I want to give a quick shout out to my man Benny Lovett, Park Spaceman, my junior club. He was on show last night. Kurt, his brother, he was there. The whole family was there, actually. It was good to see up in Cairns. Shout out to him. Hope he gets some game time this week. He's an absolute gun. Jersey Flegg Player of the Year last year. So I can't wait to see him on the field. If we can have two spacemen on the field, because there's another one, Billy Burns at the Dragons. Can't wait to see him get a bit more game time. But there's my two shout outs for tonight. But yeah, any sort of young guns that sort of caught your eye?
I'd say not exactly caught my eye, but Dean Hawkins didn't hurt his rate at all, I don't think, because with Lockie Ilias, he's played as many first grade games as Dean has, and I think Dean just did a job yesterday. So I think Souths have that rest assured that if Ilias doesn't quite turn out, you got Dean Hawkins there that can do a job. But for me, as a biased Cows fan, I think Griffin really played well. I really like the way he played. It just Cows just don't have much go forward right now. I don't know where you fit him in the side. Obviously there's a few people that have to fall out to see him come in, but he was only meant to play 30 minutes apparently, and they kept him out there for a full 40. And like I say, probably got your try of the weekend set up as well. So
it was dead set, mate. That'll be used throughout the year for a few other things. I think I've already used it in like 3 posts already, which is but he definitely cracked the defense there. Titans versus Broncos was the next one last night. Now, well, it was just a trial. We know It's just a trial, okay? So anyone that wants to come at us and say, trials don't mean anything, we understand it's just a trial. But it was great to see a Broncos comeback. I think they were down like 26-8, and then they came back to level it up 26 really late. While
Broncos aren't really that good at comebacks. Last time I remember a Broncos comeback, there was the 2015 grand final.
You have to move it over just a little bit further. Move it over just a little bit further.
Yeah, so that's what when I think of the words comeback and Broncos is what I normally think of. But anyway,
just rubbing it in there, mate. I don't know whether it was more like the Titans sort of switching off, but I a little bit of credit to the Broncos for fighting back and coming back. I think those young guns are going to take a bit of confidence from that and use it throughout the year. Whether they get too much game time or not, we're not sure, but. Mate, I'm loving the big boy season from on the Goldie as well, on the wings. Tremaine Spire and Greg Marzu.
Man.
I know they're going to be probably backups to Corey Thompson and
Big Regosaurus Rex, man. He's exciting, isn't he?
Yeah. Oh, mate, he's huge.
He's got the big hands that he can get that offload off so effortlessly. Reminds me of TPJ, the way that he holds the ball when he's in a tackle. You know what I mean? Yeah, Big Greggy excites me.
230 kilos between them. It's just good to see some wingers with some size, but mate, what were you call? There was a good battle between Fafita, Spry, and Stags Cobbo. What were your nicknames for?
Sellogs.
Absolutely,
because breakfast, obviously, the most important meal of the day. And I think that Selwyn and Stags might be the most important right edge in footy if everything goes right. So you're throwing in Adam Reynolds there, and like I say, I know it's a trial. Selwyn Cobbo just got himself a bunch more fans last night. The way that he ran over old mate, nearly dropped the ball putting it down, but he did get it down. I think Selwyn Cobbo, that name can't be in too many more people's mouths. I put up a post about him a while ago, and someone said, it's Greg Inglis 2.0. And I think we're at about 8.5 for Greg Inglis's now, the reincarnate.
Yep.
But no, he's the right size. I think he's about 6'3". And he can move. Few issues with the defense, but obviously it's preseason. He needs to just get his head on a little bit more with the defense. But going forward, I think what I've always said about the Bronx the last couple of years is they do have weapons. They just need someone to shoot those weapons. And now if you put Adam Reynolds in there on that right edge with Stags and Cobbo, makes me sound a bit awkward because I don't love the Broncos, but it gets me excited to get down to Suncorp and watch some games, I tell you.
Yeah, he's going to be exciting when we say that. Kobe Hetherington, bit of a start as well last night. He's like 140 metres, 22 tackles, looking good for the season.
Robitaille had a nice run too in there as well.
Yep. Robitaille, Rabati.
Robitaille. Yeah, it might be Rabati. I might be having my foot in my mouth there.
Don't worry, I pronounce names so wrong. Titans Warriors next week. That's who they take on, and we've mentioned the Cowboys versus the Broncos, another Queensland derby. Hey, good thing about the Broncos: 2 games undefeated so far. That's something they can take into next week. It's just pre-season. Mate, did you catch much of the Sharks Panthers game before we jumped on here?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why, but I have this like attachment to Tricky right now. And then just like every time it's not going right, I just feel so bad for the bloke. He's obviously fighting for that 6th spot right now, or 6 or 7, however they line up. Moz has just done nothing the last 2 weeks but sit home and eat popcorn, and his stocks have risen in Sharks land dramatically. Like Tricky's come out today. He's obviously done that head high, got sent to the bin. He threw an intercept that got called back. A couple kicks didn't quite work. And a major takeaway though was that number 9 for the Sharks. I think coming out there looking like Thor, he is a smoky to be in the roasted 100 next year. Mate, and he's 26.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye on him. He had just full body tats as well, like the arms, the full chest, stomach, back, everything. He looked like a bit of a stud.
Him and Toby Rudolph have the same hairdresser, I think.
Yeah, and they mentioned that a few times. So would you say, Moylan's now the certainty for number 6 with Trindle's likely to be suspended after that head high. So
Mozza obviously starts it.
Yep.
It's hard. I like Tricky. I think he can do a job, but I just think you got Mozza is what Mozza is. Like he's played for Australia. He's been there, done that and everything. So I think you just got to go with Mozza. I think it'll be good for Nico. I just think I like that Brayton's just a bit more built up.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like looks like he can take a hit. And they're giving him a few hits, the baby Panthers. Jesus, a couple borderline ones there. Didn't know if he'd let it go already or not, but yeah. But that's what I was saying to the boys too. I'm like, this baby Panthers side, how relentless they are, the next few years are just scary because everyone's like, oh, the Panthers are losing a few players here and there. But this baby Panthers side, we're just putting them to the coals, mate.
Mate, I am high on Sean Sullivan as well with the Panthers. I know he won't get much game time with Cleary and Luai there. But he's such a quality backup to have for them. He sort of stood out for me today.
Obviously Maverick as well.
Maverick guy. People are going to say, because the commentators were all over him, but have a look at him. Like I think he's like 6'2" or something. He's massive. Early touches, he scores a try. He hands one off later on.
It was a bit on the nose there when he was uninvolved in the play. I think Vossi said, if you could give a try assist to someone not touching the ball, you'd do it there. I'm like, okay, yeah, he is having a good game.
I understand that, and that's probably where it came from. It was like, man, they even showed him on camera after the try. Yeah. I'm like, he didn't even touch the ball. Like, at least show the guy who scored a try on camera.
How's the chop on the bloke that scored the try too? That bleached blonde cut hair.
It was
Jesus.
Crazy. But we've got a little bit of a game on our hands here in this last game. It's 22-all. My Dragons versus the Eels. So we're gonna switch off. We're gonna go watch the end of this. Is about 20 minutes to go. So we've gone way over time. We had a few technical difficulties, but we'll get past that. We'll be better next week. This is our debut. Not great. We had a few knock-ons early, but we're going to come back and get a 40-20 next week. Trust me.
A few hard discussions to have in the sheds, but they'll be made and we'll be back.
They will be. Donnie, I want to thank you so much for jumping on, introducing yourself to my audience. Where can we find you, mate? Where can we find you on the socials?
NRL_Don across everything, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. And yeah, send me always DMs open for your hot takes. I love to rip into them. So go ahead and do that.
Get amongst the guys, get amongst the Don, follow him on socials. And hopefully we'll see you back next week, providing we can sort out this technical shit. But thanks for all the guys that tuned in. Let's have a look. We'll go back through just some of the comments. Both the same guys. CJ Moxley, Bloody Brilliant Beers, NRL Memes. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Whoever's still tuning in, thanks again. And we'll do it all again next week. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Donnie. Talk soon, man.
Sounds good.